Hey, if this random Professor Ryuta Kawashima can get in Smash, you know he's important.
I didn't see you there. I was just finishing taking an IQ test, and I won't lie to you, I feel pretty good about my scores. And I think they just came in. Let's see what I got. Oh, come on! Hey everybody, how's it going? LightningStrike here, and given the fact that my scores prove that I'm nothing more than a stupid son of a gun, I figured I should do some brain training to help improve my scores. And rather than do actual worksheets or something, I figured that playing some video games would be the optimal way to go. Okay, so I didn't want to do any work. Sue me, alright?
Disclaimer, please don't sue me. Educational games, because someone out there thought that putting learning in our video games would be a good idea. These range from puzzle games to math games to kill it with fire. Some educational games I played growing up were Times Attack, which is a multiplication game, some Egyptian game with algebra that I forgot the name of and I'm absolutely convinced doesn't exist anywhere on the internet. These Arthur math and reading games, Learn Math for the DS, where you, big surprise, learn math, and one of my personal favorites, Bear in the Big Blue House, Bear's Sense of Adventure. Hey, don't judge me, that game was my jam. Sadly, I've lost all these games, but luckily there are literally hundreds of educational games out there for kids. But some of the most popular among people are Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, most games made by Humongous Entertainment, and probably most important of all, Brain Age. Hey, if this random Professor Ryuta Kawashima can get in Smash, you know he's important.
But that's not why we're here today. What we're here to talk about today is Professor Layton in the Curious Village for the Nintendo DS. Or as I like to call it, Professor Layton in the Village of Bumbling Idiots.
Professor Layton in the Curious Village was released on February 15, 2007 for the Nintendo DS, and was the first game to be self-funded and published by Level 5, creators of the Yokai Watch franchise. These games follow the adventures of Professor Herschel Layton and his young assistant Luke Triton, solving any mysteries and puzzles thrown their way. So they're basically one Uncharted is to Indiana Jones, but with Sherlock Holmes. Hey, that kinda rhymed. Solving mysteries, doing math, and completing riddles are all par for the course of this game, so if your IQ is as low as mine, you're probably gonna have a bad time. And you know you found a puzzle if a Metal Gear Solid exclamation point pops up. Luckily, there are hint coins hidden all around the village that can be used to give hints on a puzzle you find yourself stuck on. These are found by tapping your surroundings, so whenever you go to a new area, you're going to find yourself violently tapping everywhere on the touchscreen. I got this game when I was around 10, and I was so dumb I couldn't get past puzzle 6 out of nearly 135. But then I went back and played it in high school, and I loved it because I wasn't a dumb elementary schooler. No offense to elementary schoolers.
I'm actually really excited to go back and take a look at it, seeing as how the Layton franchise is one of my favorites of all time. No, not you! Get out of here! I don't want you! What was I talking about again?
The game starts with Layton and Luke driving to the village of St. Mystery. Haha, very funny developers. I see what you did there. Where a woman named Lady Dahlia has asked Layton to find an item called the Golden Apple, the only thing in the will left behind by the late Baron Reinhold. We solve the first puzzle to find the place, and then upon arrival, the gosh darn bridge is down. And this puzzle, this one right here, is the reason why I call St. Mystery the Village of Bumbling Idiots. Look at this! This is the most basic crap ever, and I'm literally solving this from the opposite side of a bridge! How are you so blind that you can't see the obvious answer? Sorry, I got a little carried away there. Anyways, we drop the bridge, go meet Lady Dahlia after getting past a puzzle that my stupid 10-year-old self could never figure out because every attempt is randomized and I refuse to look up guides. But before we can actually get to mystery solving, we have to chase down a cat. A stupid cat, because dang it, when rich people want something, they want it right then and there. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, Luke can apparently talk to animals. Don't ask me why. We go back to the mansion and oh no, someone's been murdered! This guy right here, Inspector Chelmy, apparently came while we were away to investigate, but he says he's from out of the village. And given the fact that the drawbridge broke after we got in, we should immediately be suspicious of him, and if you aren't, then go read Villainy 101.
Written by yours truly. Just read the chapter titled How to See a Villain Plot Twist Coming a Mile Away, right after the chapter where we discuss stereotypes in every medium everywhere.
We talked to the butler who found a gear next to the deceased body, and we'll see another one of those after seeing a citizen get kidnapped, who returns the next day and thinks that nothing happened to him. Spooky. After wandering around more and pouring milk into pitchers for 5 hours for this person like an idiot, we're led to an abandoned amusement park where I have a sneaking suspicion I've seen a scene like this before. They find a simple little key after barely being flattened like a pancake, which makes everything click for Layton. They go back to the mansion where they, big surprise, confront Inspector Chelmy, where Layton channels his inner Phoenix Wright.
Objection!
Oh, would you look at that? Turns out, Chelmy was a fake all along. Who could have seen that coming? The real villain is Don Paolo, Layton's self-proclaimed arch-nemesis, despite the fact that, and I quote,
He didn't even know what he did to upset him.
using the key, they get to the strange tower in the center of town, solve puzzles to climb higher, and learn that all the locals in the town, except for the kidnapper from earlier, Bruno, who is a mechanic, are robots. Yep, just a typical Tuesday afternoon. At the top of the tower, they find a cottage housing a young girl, Flora, who is actually the daughter of the late Baron Reinhold. Apparently, she is the golden apple that all the robots in town are protecting until she grows up.
Yes, the real treasure is a person. I was never too big of a fan of this growing up, but that's just because I'm someone who likes money. But that's not important. Really quick though, I hope you've been saving your hint coins up until this point, because some of the puzzles in that tower can be pretty tricky, so if you haven't saved them up until this point, you're gonna be... Sweet, a mini golf token!
Everything seems like it's gonna be hunky-dory when Don Paolo decides that he's going to be the world's worst construction worker and starts to destroy the tower. Luke makes it out, but the professor has the brilliant idea to go back to the top of the tower as it's being destroyed.
Yep, let's just add that one to the fantastically not fantastic list.
Professor Layton decides that he wants to be the new Phineas and Ferb and builds a glider out of random junk in Flora's shack and glides to safety with her. Don Paolo swears revenge, but we still have no idea why, because the two had never met.
That's why sequels were created.
Layton notices a birthmark on the shape of an apple on Flora's shoulder, and he realizes where the real treasure is hidden. A recording of Baron Reinhold congratulates Layton for solving the mystery, and also tells Flora that if the treasure is taken, all the robots will cease to function. Being a kind-hearted person, she leaves the gold as a token of thanks to the robots for watching over her.
Such an admirable person. Me, on the other hand, I'm taking the cash and running! And so ends the first adventure of Professor Layton. And as far as how the game plays, it's incredibly simplistic and intuitive, only requiring the touchscreen to circle, draw, or write down your answer. You can even just make little notes on the screen. The only problem is, sometimes when you go to write down an answer, the game just says no. Stop! I haven't even mentioned how solving puzzles grants you mechanical parts, painting scraps, or furniture, which allows you to put together a robot dog, a painting, and furnish Layton and Rook's hotel rooms, respectively. The music is also really great. It has a really good French vibe to everything. Just be ready for a lot of this. The puzzle music is especially good, always making me focus really intensely. Well, I think that game made me smarter. I guess all it took was fixing all the villagers' problems, because for some ungodly reason they can't live their lives without a puzzle dictating everything. But as you can tell by the top hat, I think I should be as smart as Professor Layton now. I've taken a new test, and let's see what I got on this one. Now that's more like it. Also, I know I got low and average scores, but trust me, I'm smarter than this, okay? Take my word on that one.